Ephesians 4, verses 11 through 13 say, "So Christ himself gave the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the pastors, and the teachers to equip his people for works of service, so that the body of Christ may be built up until we all reach unity in the faith and the knowledge of the Son of God and become mature, attaining the whole measure of the fullness of Christ." One of the things we always talk about is that we want to be an Ephesians 4 church, a church that believes very deeply in these couple verses that we're all given gifts in order to push together on this mission that God has for us, that he's equipped each of us differently, and our role is to build each other up so that together we can do something for our community. We can show people what a life with Jesus is supposed to look like. We can show people what church should be like when we're unified around a common mission and a common vision. I'll never forget having a conversation with a friend a couple years after he said yes to serving in student ministry with me. And he was one of those guys that always jumped in and was always willing to do even the silliest games that we came up with in student ministry. He helped with paint wars, he helped with the food fight, he helped with the giant water wars. Always jumped in and said yes. And I always thought that he was, he was just one of those guys that had everything to give to the students because he was so willing to say yes. He always had answers for students that were having a tough time. He would always pray with them and be there with them. And I was having a conversation with him one day, years after he said, had started serving with me. And he said, I said yes to this, not really knowing what I would get into. But I think that the students have done more good for my faith than I've done for their faith. And I appreciate that so much because it reflects what serving in ministry is like. The more that you pour yourself out, the more that you live selflessly, the more that you give toward what God's doing in the world, somehow, as you lift others up and serve others, you become more full in what Christ is doing in your life. And it's not that you go into this with this selfish expectation. It's not that you go in to make yourself better, but it's a byproduct of serving those around you. He gave some of us to be apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the pastors, the teachers. And all together, we're supposed to equip the people of God for works of service, so the body of Christ may be built up. Ephesians 4, 11 through 13, it asks the question, where are you stepping in and helping make the body of Christ more complete? So that's my question today. As we start out, as you're going on your day, where am I saying yes to helping make sure that this mission of God becomes more complete? I hope you have a great day.